Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, everybody, man? We back for another great episode of the Coach Me Coach podcast, man. I got my man Dom in the building, man. Talk to me, man. How you feeling after week 0 of college football?
Let me just say this in the nicest, most Christian way possible.
The Christian way, okay.
Yes. Scott Frost's hot seat is as red as this scarlet covered shirt. Oh my! And the red lights that's beaming on Coach Hayes' wall. That's a different shade of red. That's how hot it is. Man, you out here losing to running backs who don't have gloves on? Come on, man.
I told y'all, listen, I told y'all, I said it in the show last week when we did the preview of week 0 preview. I don't know why he can't get over that hump. But most times if you can't get over the hump that first year, you have year 2 to figure out. He hasn't figured it out in year 2. I think he's done for. I think that they talked about it. I brought it up somewhere, maybe on the Kane show. I think I was talking about it. And I said, listen, they'll fire him by the Indiana game. And somebody, well, he gets this $15 million if he leave, but $7.5 if he da-da-da. I didn't even know that. Well, guess what happened? I called it right on the time, right October 1st, I think. Indiana, I said he'll get fired. I think it's Indiana's game. He was going to get fired. He looked like a man defeated when I saw him. When they went up, he was just a man defeated, man.
Here's what pissed me off. I'm just going to keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
He went in the press conference. They asked him questions. You've been a coach. You coached on the college level. You lose a game like that. What are you saying? Just give me 2 sentences.
You know what? You're gonna talk in cliches, right? All these, you know what? That loss is on me. It's my job to get the guys prepared. Like those are the cliche talk, right? I don't know. I didn't watch his post game, so tell me if I'm on par or not. It's my job to get the guys prepared. They played hard. They came out. They fought to the end. We got to clean some things up. But at the end of the day, it's my responsibility to get them prepared to win these ball games. Am I on par or not?
Yes or no?
Okay, talk to me.
He talked about how he loved Nebraska and he thinks he's the man for the job.
He's trying to save his job already. I'm sorry, he's trying to save his job already.
Yes. Then he go and throw the offensive coordinator under the bus, talking about our offensive coordinators need to learn that, we need to open up the playbook. I'm like, Scott, ain't no way you just sat up here and blamed the offensive coordinator for that loss. And yeah, our coaches, offensive coaches need to learn. I'm like, ain't no way he did that. Listen, if I'm Nebraska after I heard that, Hayes, I promise you, I would have gave him that Lane Kiffin treatment.
Let me tell you something.
I would have left him in our locker room.
He just lost the locker room. When you do that as a coach, I understand speaking in cliches, but when you do that as a coach, what you have to understand is there are players who have a relationship with their position coaches more than they do with the head coach. Mm-hmm. And once you do that, now you're going to turn them against you. Even though you're the head coach, they spend more time, maybe not with the offensive coordinator, but with the receiver coach or with the running back coach who's been there. And now you're saying you're throwing them on the butt. Like, hold on, coach, you the one made that onside kick. You the one to prove this. At the end of the day, all calls go through you. You give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. Even if I'm the special team coach and I come to you with it, my job is to present information. Your job is to check it off or not. Because at some point, you said if we go up by 2, at some point in the staff meeting, you said, all right, guys, if we go up by 2 points, we can catch them off guard. Maybe we can do an onside kick. You know what that special team coach says? All right. Coach said if we up by 2 touchdowns, whatever the case, the scenario. So, hey, coach, we up by 2. Remember, you said you may want to check that. Now, by the feeling of the game, he could say, nah, we good. Or he says, hey, good call, coach. Let's do it.
And here's the thing. I understand Pitt fans had some issues with, I think his name is Mark Whipple, whatever his name is. I understand they had some. Go ahead, you can give him a shout out. I know Troy Ingle. I don't know personally, but Tanner Ingle.
Big shout out to Troy Ingle, man. Yeah, Tanner Ingle's father, man. Big shout out to you. I saw you reached out on one of the shows at the very end. I was just logging off, man, but I had just cut it off when I saw it come through. Big shout out to you, man. Tanner Ingle, for those that don't know, plays DB for North Carolina State. Wolf pack number 10 out there, right? Like, he can play now. He can play. So
heat-seeking missile.
Yeah, he can play, man. So the light-skinned warrior is out there killing cats, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to see him play. I'm glad to see him grow. So we'll definitely circle that number, Troy, on that game, man. But we'll definitely check it out, man. So hope everything is good with you and your family, man, and with him as well.
But yeah, quickly, I know Pitt, he may not have been their favorite, but that dude coached a first-round quarterback and coached a what's his name? Jordan Addison, Biletnikoff. Now you got all these receivers, a legit receiving core, and Frost gonna call. Listen, somebody tell me, I owe to a 405 Bulletin Media. Somebody tell me you're in the third quarter, you up 2 touchdowns, you're starting to get you have the momentum, and they already running the ball on you. And so I don't understand. You kick an onside kick, then listen, I don't even remember the explanation for the onside kick. I just remember him talking mess about the coaches and talking about how he loved Nebraska and Bob. Listen, Hayes, I ain't with it, man. I'm not with it. I'm not with it. I'm not with it. And I have to switch gears before we break down this game. You know, another thing I'm not with?
What's that?
Let's stay in the Big Ten, since this is a Big Ten related show. Desmond Howard. It is.
Is it? Okay, I like it. Go for it.
Desmond Howard. Desmond Howard. You know, I will say this. No, I ain't gonna say it.
Hold on. Before you say that, there's 2 takes on Desmond Howard that 2 things he said recently. One is about the playoffs, and I think that's what you're alluding to. Am I correct?
Correct.
And the second was about C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young.
See, I don't care about that because in a sense, I agree with him. Bryce Young, first of all, it's too early to be predicting Heisman winners, and they haven't even played a game. That's the problem with the Heisman.
It's entertainment, right?
Whatever.
It's just like saying preseason All-American. How about what does that sound? What is that? You're the short you're in a short T-shirt All-American.
Pretty much, like, the 7-on-7 All-American.
But I didn't want to interrupt your point. I just want to be clear what instance you were talking about, and then we'll go to both. So go ahead.
The freshman All-American is worse. They haven't even played it down, and now they All-American. But anyway,
yeah.
I don't have a problem with his take on C.J. Stroud and all that. That's fine with me. What I do have a problem with, and it's just as stupid as Michigan coming out with their little quarterback thing. Dumbest thing. If I'm Cade and JJ, both of y'all just hit the portal right now. Just do it.
I'm out.
Because your coach may hit the portal at the end of the season. You never know. So for those who are not familiar, just saying, for those who are not familiar with Dez's Final Four for the college football playoffs, let me tell you who he has. He has the number 1 overall seed, Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, the Michigan Wolverines. Number 3, the Pittsburgh Fighting Panthers. And number 4, the Baylor Bears.
What's your problem with it?
It's don't go on ESPN to say something that you don't even believe. Tell me, okay, you're trying to tell me, man, you think Pittsburgh can start the season 0-2, let alone make the playoffs? Because I'll say it, there ain't no way they going.
I'm gonna say this to be that guy. Texas A&M, SEC. I think these are stretches, right? Like you stretch the rubber band till it's full as it's about to pop.
I'll say this about A&M. Talent-wise, okay. Not overly stupid, but still stupid. So, Pittsburgh, you're trying to tell me if Pittsburgh makes it to the college football playoffs, that means they ran everybody out of the ACC. Them dudes from Pittsburgh.
Didn't they win it last year?
They lost 2 games.
Regardless, but did they win the ACC last year?
Okay, but can I argue that the ACC, it was down? It was
still is.
Pittsburgh lost starting quarterback, lost your best wide receiver, lost some talent, lost their starting safety. I believe Hamlin. They lost pieces. So you're trying to tell me a man defense is beat. That Clemson defense is salty. I'm just, for whatever reason, I'm putting hope in Miami. I don't know why, but
because of me, dog. Because of me.
And let me say something that's really going to piss Miami fans off. But Hayes, I know you agree with me because we talked about it. I get emails every day, Hayes, saying somebody in the college football fantasy league has dropped a Miami player. There is enough. So here's the thing. Don't y'all come at me talking about Ohio State and you don't even pick the players on your own team.
Can't say that about me. Because one thing, for people who don't know, Dom is in the fantasy league. So Dom, you got my man, Brother Jay Blaze, A63 Kane. So they're in the fantasy league. So that's what he's talking about for those that don't know it. Just put it in context.
And so Hayes pissed me off because Hayes got like 3 Heisman contenders and then 3 sleepers from who could be legit dark horses on Miami and then Miami's best players. But I'm just scrolling through. Tyler Van Dyke still on the board. Rooster still on the board. Receiver still on the board. Defense still on the board. I'm like, so what is going on? Like, why are you picking the Ohio State players?
So I'm gonna say this because we're gonna push this deal. But I'm gonna say this, and I called again, it's fantasy, right? So people pick what they want.
We just joking. We're laughing, yeah. Get out your feelings.
But here's to some point. For the people, and I know my man Smooth, who is a big Bama fan, was in there as well. And I was like, Smooth, why you ain't picking no Bama people? Like, because everybody else done picked them before I could. But anyway, long story short, I did see, and still Kane, I kind of teased him again. It's his option, man. We just having fun with it. But still Kane picked Penn State defense when Miami's defense was still on the board. Now, I have to say this in his defense. I don't know this to be true or not. I don't know if still Kane is saying that Miami's defense is better than Penn State. Like, I've never heard him talk about it, literally talk about it. But I was just saying that a Miami Hurricane fan picked a Manny Diaz defense over a Miami Hurricane defense that was still on the board. So, and he came back and said, well, Coach, I think his defense fits better with the Big Ten, yada, and that's fine. But that was just funny to see that A63, the former champion. Well, he's still a champion. He's defending his title in the building.
Well, Brother Steel Kane, you better release that defense on October 29th. That's all I got to say. You better go find yourself a new defense. Because Ryan Day's about to have a field day, especially since that game is during the day and not at night. Get that whiteout where you can't hear anything. Still Kane.
Is that night or during the day?
It's during the day. Ooh. Is that like
all white? All white.
Yeah, but I mean, at 3:00, you just flexing with the sun. And so the only thing I do know is Fox has it. and it's either at noon, it's either the big noon kickoff, or it's at 3:00.
I got you.
So, but yeah, that's I think what that Baylor has a good defense, but they lost a lot of pieces. I think Oklahoma's a safer bet than Baylor to win the Big 12, and that's just because I'm very high on Brent Venables. He's proven it, and he's got some talent like up in Norman. And then offensively, you got Dylan Gabriel, Texas. They ain't back. I don't care. I may be wrong, but look,
hold on, you said Texas?
I said they're not back. We're gonna find out in Texas next week. We're gonna find out about Texas next week.
Because Texas has the Quinn Ewers has been named the starter over Hudson Card, who was there last year. There's been some things, like I said, I'm like Master P. I ain't talking about no man on my record, so I'm leaving that alone. But there was some Texas content creators had some issues with another content creator about what they said about Quinn Ewers. And again, that's why I don't get into this stuff, because I don't know. It's an opinion. You know what I mean?
But they had issues with us?
No. They had issues with a Texas person, a Texas content creator, like they as a Texas podcast, had issues with what someone else said about Quinn Ewers being named the starter there. And to be honest, I would call their name, but I can't. I don't remember. But they hashed it out like men. I know Sharp Sports was one of them, but I don't know the other gentleman's name who was the Texas guy. I don't know his name. I can't remember his name. But if you go on his channel, they got on there and they talked about what was said and whatever. It wasn't nothing crazy. He just was giving his opinion. And, people tried to check him on it, and it was all good. I mean, at least they talked it out, and it was all great and all gravy. But anyhow, it will be interesting to see what he does, man, coming from Ohio State, right? Because he committed to Texas, decommits, goes to Ohio State, leaves, goes back to Texas. So I'll be interested to see. I see your face says something different, but
like you said, we'll leave that. We'll leave it alone. As Bernie Mac said, let's move on. It's all good. And then Michigan,
who's
we
Texas
know that's
playing.
Week 2?
No, week 1. They're not playing anybody.
They're playing somebody, but I don't think it's important.
I'm trying to see who they're playing. They're not even on the schedule.
Texas, let's see. It's probably
that's top 25. That's why.
Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah, that's why they're not on the top 25 schedule. Okay, I got you.
So, like I said, it doesn't really matter yet. Week 2, when them Tide go marching in, and as Shannon Sharp calls them, good old Saint Nick comes rolling in. That's the one I'm looking forward to. And then Michigan, like I said, that's just a farce. Michigan has the easiest schedule, though. They play Hawaii, they play the University of Cancun, all them little schools and everything. So
speaking of that, you being a Big Ten guy, of course, you're not a Michigan fan, but you follow them based on, your reporting through the years of Ohio State. What is your take on how Coach Jim Harbaugh has? I'm gonna ask you 2 questions, but I'm gonna go in reverse. What's your take on how he's handling this starting quarterback situation with, from what I heard, unless it's changed today, that Cade McNamara will start game week 1, JJ McCarthy starts week 2, and week 3 they'll make a decision on the starter. Is that still accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
It is accurate. How he's handling it, terrible.
Like I'm saying, what's your take on? Is you think that's a good way to do it? Or?
I think it's a terrible idea. And here's why he can get away with it, because their schedule is so weak. You can get away, with, mix and match and all that stuff. But logically speaking, that doesn't make sense. Because both guys are going to be playing under pressure. None of the quarterbacks are going to be able to play freely because they're going to feel like they have to go out and hit home runs in order to be like, okay, it's no doubt his. Talent-wise, JJ's the more talented kid. He's the wild card because with the way he competes, JJ doesn't slide. JJ's not a slider. If you don't believe me, go watch what Georgia did to him.
He will.
That kid.
He will. He was just young, trying to prove his. You young and you trying to be the young bull. But trust me, he ain't gonna take. He may take it if he has to get across that goal line or has to get that first down. But I don't think he's gonna take them shots just to take them anymore. I think he just wanted to say, "Hey, I got it. If I need it, I want to put it on tape to show y'all I ain't no punk." Yeah, I think he learned his lesson.
Yeah, because Georgia 2 or 3 times lit him up. And Coach, I know you love the hits, man.
I love the hits.
So it's they lit him up a couple times, but JJ's the more talented guy, but he's also the wild card. He's the dude that will throw a pass in triple coverage. So, because that's just the confidence that he had. Cade is the game manager, and game manager being he is the guy. Oh boy.
Look at my son.
But yeah, like I said, man, he's that guy, the short intermediate passes. He's not a deep threat, and he's a guy, that can use his legs. Against Georgia, he ran for some solid yardage, kept the plays moving. So if Jim Harbaugh, and here's the thing that'll be interesting too. Well, if you name JJ the starter, what happens to the offense? Because JJ's not a under center kind of dude. Cade is that under center kind of dude.
And so there's my point. And that's what I wanted to ask. To me, they're both good, believe this or not, like you said. JJ may be better talent-wise. Cade may be better management-wise. And I think it's all predicated on the kind of offense you want to run. Are they going to still go back to the 12 personnel? Are they going to go back to the 13 personnel, the 1 receiver, 2 receivers, the big run down your field? I mean, are they going to do those type of things? Or do they have 2 playbooks out there? Meaning we got a Cade playbook and we got a JJ playbook. Meaning, God forbid, but let's just say something happens, right? Cade McNamara breaks his shoelace. I always say that. Y'all know what I mean when I say that, right? He breaks his shoelace and he has to go out. Do they run the JJ playbook? Meaning, because he's not a guy just to hand it off, throw just a little 5-yard outs, maybe take a shot here and there. He want to play. Or do they have the same playbook and this is what we run and y'all have to fit within the scheme? Because here's what I'm going to tell you. And this is where business, this is why I tell people when they talk about that family crap, peace. I say this all the time. You know why?
It's a business.
Because, bro, Cade McNamara takes you further than you ever been there as a coach, regardless of what you want to say. You could call it the running backs, you call it this. The quarterback gets all the limelight. I don't care who the running back is. The quarterback is the one, he's the engine to the vehicle, regardless of whatever. Somebody said my mic is low. Maybe your TV down.
Yeah, because I can hear perfectly.
It's good?
Yeah.
Okay. Turn your TV up, Courtney Joe. That's my man, Google man. But and if you don't know how to do it, just Google it. But but I was just gonna say, but with all that being said, it goes to show you how easily people kind of turn their back on you, and you have not done anything wrong. It's just because they think this guy is better, and you scared for him to transfer. We're gonna take our loyalty. Now we want loyalty, but we're gonna show you how disloyal we are, and give another guy who may have talent. But look where I took you until I prove I can't do it, and that's what I think is unfair about it, and that is the sad part about opening the transfer portal. That guys can just hold kind of coaches by hostage in a sense.
2 things. We're about to see, this is where Miami factors in. We're about to see how much influence Josh Gaddis had on that offense. We are about to see. Because I watched, and no, here's why I say that. The speed and space nonsense, I told you this on the phone. I have never, unless his name was Kyle Pitts, I've never seen a tight end be the number one number one target on a mesh route coming across the middle.
Talking about Eric All My fantasy draft pick for Michigan.
And I guarantee doggone to you, he'll be the leading receiver this year and stuff. And so here's another fantasy note for anybody watching. Make sure you take tight ends from Wisconsin, Iowa, or Michigan. And so because they're going to have at least 86 receptions. So
you know who else I picked up? The running back from Indiana, Sean Shivers, that left from Auburn. Yeah,
South Florida legend, Shamana Madonna.
All right.
And so, like I said, and this will be the last thing before we get into OSU Notre Dame, we're going to see, because they would bring JJ in and they would run like these wildcat stuff. It was weird, and sometimes it would be effective, but you knew two things: you knew JJ was going to run, but you kind of knew, all right, let's cover our ground, let's play zone, because he could throw the ball. And then sometimes he just go 2 plays, hand it off to the running back. Sometimes it's handed off to the running back both plays. And so that's what I'm saying. It doesn't – Harbaugh is an old school kind of coach. Those running backs fit his scheme well. But if he wants to run his scheme, JJ is not that dude. JJ is not that dude. It's Cade. And Cade, in my opinion, is good at it. And here's the thing. You just said it. He led Georgia to the college football playoffs. Remember A.J. McCarron?
Michigan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Michigan. A.J. McCarron from Alabama back in the day. A.J. was not Bryce Young. He was not Bryce Young. A.J. McCarron's job, do not turn the ball over. Hand the ball to Trent Richardson, Eddie Lacy, and T.J. Yeldon was a freshman at the time. And you know who else you got to get the ball to? Number 9, Amari Cooper. That's it. And that's what he did well. And so, I don't know, man. I don't like this format because, it's the transfer thing. I don't think JJ would transfer week 4. But then again, you never know. So,
no, I don't think he'll transfer in the season. I think that he'll definitely make his move right after. Because again, you always, I always tell people this. One thing about it, your ankle sprained away from being a starter, right? Regardless. One thing about it, if you transfer in the middle of the season, you're definitely not going to play. So it sucks to sit there. But I still think, like you said, because their schedule is relatively light, especially the first 3 games is who is it? Somebody Hawaii, then UConn. They definitely should have some significant playing time, and then they go into Maryland.
Be careful about Maryland.
They play Maryland, right? They're good. Mike Locksley in them, but they're gonna have offense. Hopefully, their defense turns up. But
last quick thing. Another reason why I think they're doing this, they missed out on a big time They missed out on 2 big time quarterbacks. 2 big time quarterbacks. Then I'll let you adjust that. AJ was more.
Oh, who was that?
Was Kent Dorsey, but better. Oh, okay. Dante Moore, 5-star quarterback who went to Detroit Martin Luther King High School. He's at Oregon. He's going to Oregon. He's committed to Oregon. And then in 2024, CJ Carr. CJ Carr is the grandson of legendary Michigan coach Lloyd Carr. That's when Michigan was winning all them championships and all that stuff. He's going to the rival. He's going to Notre Dame. So, really, you kind of need you want, if JJ leaves, you want to give him reason to stick around. Now, here's me. If they still running that prehistoric offense, then I think JJ would be, better suited, a team that's in the spread and stuff. So, heck, go to Alabama. Come to Miami or something like that.
So here's my point. So King Kyle, shout out to King Kyle. I'm going to start calling King Kyle Plan B. King Kyle, I'll be at the game Saturday, man. I hope you find me. I'll be going live prior to it. I'll let y'all know where I am. But he says, what you talking about, Coach? What you talking about, Coach Hayes? Like, what you talking about, Willie? Coach Hayes, coach has been holding players hostage for decades. You're 100% right. And they're still holding them hostage. Guess who's being held hostage right now? Both of them. They're still being held hostage. Both of them are being held hostage because they're in limbo. They don't know. K McNamara doesn't know if. Think about it. I'm a kid that's been playing. Take this team to the Final Four, and I'm being held hostage right now. Because if you was gonna make JJ, I could have got up out of here and left. But nope, I'm held hostage. Well, JJ says, "Well, coach, I'm here to play. I did your little, boot pass and kept the ball last year. Maybe you told me behind the scenes that, hey, I'm gonna be the man. That's why I hung around. And now you telling me we got a 2-game playoff to find out who starts the third game, and like this is Pee-wee.
Yeah.
So the kids are still being held hostage. All I'm just trying to say is it doesn't clean it up. That's all I'm trying. That's all I'm just trying to say.
Too wrong.
You're doing right. When that boy say Smith be on point, hey, King Kyle, he agree with you, boy. You doing something, boy. That's what I'm talking about. With that being said, that's what I just wanted to say about. I mean, think about it. You're at a major college football program. Well, we're going to find out who to start. To me, you're hedging your bet, and you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. What you're trying to do, in my opinion, when it comes to Jim Harbaugh, is you're hoping one of them screws up, so you can make a clear-cut winner. You're not trying to make the hard decision because you don't want to be the bad guy. To me, I personally feel like you're hoping that you can go out there and put the stats up and says, well, this guy was 19 for 26, but this guy was only 11 for 20. He threw for 3 touchdowns. He threw for 2. Okay, we're going to go with this guy. That's how I think he's trying to let the players make a decision for him. And I just don't think that's fair. I think they're 2 different quarterbacks. If there was 2 J.J. McCarthy's or 2 K McNamara type kids, I get it.
You're not having this discussion.
Yeah.
So you're not having this discussion if there's 2 in the same. Because Harbaugh, it's not like Harbaugh was some defensive tackle turned QB guru. He was an NFL quarterback. So it's not like and I didn't mean to cut you off, but he knows what he's looking for.
Oh, Dom, your headphones went out. Can you hear me?
Man. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Headphones. It's mine. Are we back on? Check me out.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to we're doing this again. So first and foremost, I want to give a big shout out to everybody who endured this last week. I greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. We'll talk about Ohio State and Notre Dame in a minute. I'll want to wait till Hayes gets back on. But I'm actually curious. I want to hear something from you guys. And I don't know if Hayes and I had this conversation. No, we had it on the phone. I'm interested to know what you're looking for in Josh Gattis' offense. And if you think Miami should hold back and then unleash in week 3 against Texas A&M. Because the one thing I'm curious about is Texas A&M has this just stupid. It's stupid. Just the defensive line they have is unreal. And so how much do you withhold so because it can catch them off guard? I personally, forgive me, I think Texas A&M going to win a game. But I do feel like Miami could make things interesting because I think this is the game we're going to see the team's grit. Because here's what I fear. If you watch Mario and you watch Oregon's losses, not the big wins, but you watch the losses, they folded. Hayes, can you hear me?
I got you, bro. It's only this show. But go ahead.
Okay, but I'm gonna close this point. But I asked our awesome audience after I thanked them for bearing with me. I said the one thing I'm curious about. This was the last point I'm making. I'm fast forwarding to Miami, Texas A&M. Mario's team. If you watch some of those games, Oregon's losses, they folded against Utah. When they got bullied, when they got hit, because Texas A&M, I said it best. I still think you guys are going to lose. I'm sorry, Miami fans, but I think it could be interesting. But I think that game will be interesting to see kind of the grit that this team has. Am I wrong in saying that? Because of just the defensive line that you have. They have. But I want to see – my lasting impression was them getting shellacked versus Utah. That's Oregon. Twice. Like, they had one dude on the field that I could say, like, and I'll give it to Thibodeau. He got triple teamed, so they pretty much made him a non-factor. But the best linebacker in college football right now is Noah Sewell out at Oregon. And he was a straight dog. He had an interception. He had like 10 tackles, got stiff-armed to Hades by the quarterback. But I just want to know that's my only fear. Like, when Texas A&M comes with that counterpunch,
we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. This is why I say, Dom, I don't have an answer. I know that Coach Cristobal has a fired up personality, fires the team up. I know he's not a micromanager when it comes to sides of the ball. I know he is like that with the O-line, but he trusts his homeboy and Alex Mirabal. But I think he lets coaches coach. Now, I think he gets mad when he doesn't see the result. But at the end of the day, I mean, you have to go with what he goes with. But we're going to find out. I can tell you that real quick. I just want to say, because I do want to push on right quick because we're going to run out of time. We'll do some predictions. But Chocolate Thunder real quick says, coach, best players plays. Just like when Clemson had Kelly Bryant, Trevor Lawrence situation. You're right, but here's the only difference. Trevor Lawrence was a freshman coming in. Am I correct, Don? Was he a true freshman coming in?
True freshman.
So you did not know what Trevor Lawrence really had until he got out there. J.J. McCarthy was there last year. Cade McNamara was there last year. You're going to tell me it's going to take week 1, week 2 for you to figure out week 3 who's better? You're a poor evaluator of talent. I have to be honest. You really think the game against Hawaii or the game, who's the first team they play? Do you know? Because I can't see it right here. Now I'm looking right here. Doggone. Here you go. Michigan playing Colorado State. And here, look, let's call it what we want to call it. Colorado State might not be great, but I think they might be a little bit better than Hawaii.
I agree with that. They can make things interesting for a quarter.
Exactly. And here goes, right? But it also can make things interesting for a quarterback. So now when Cade McNamara may not play as well, and you got J.J. McCarthy slicing and dicing Hawaii, and you just sheerly look at the numbers, J.J. McCarthy should win that battle. All I'm saying is both of them have been there long enough. And you're going to tell me Colorado State, Hawaii is the determining factor if you play against UConn. Come on, dog. If you don't see the setup in that, then that's no. So I get the Kelly Bryant situation. But this, Blondie was a true freshman walking through the door. You've had J.J. McCarthy. You've had
Blondie.
I mean, we call him Sunshine, Blondie, whatever.
I call him Sunshine, but yeah.
Yeah, but you've had these guys long enough. You've had them in spring games. You had them in regular games. You had them long enough to make a you're going to tell me the Hawaii game is the deciding factor? If a dude going to start for your program? Negative. I totally get your point, but that's where we're going.
Same thing may happen to Clemson this year too.
Yeah. I think DJ because I'm going to jack his last name. I respect names. Yeah. I don't see. That's why I don't see DJU. That's my man. All I think about when I think about DJU, I think about he's going to be a guy that, again, he's had a year of task, right? They're not playing, DJ, you start week 1 and Cade Klubnik, you come week 2. and then we'll find out week 3 who's going to be the star. No, DJU, this is your job till you lose it, basically. And he knows that. The writing is on the wall.
All right, let's move on.
All right, let's move on. Let's go to this big game of the week. I think the biggest game of the week, besides the Miami Hurricane versus Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, I think that's the biggest game of all time for week 1. But I'll go with the audience consensus here, and I'll say game of the week. Is it the Home Depot game of the week, Dom?
Yeah, game day is going to be there. Yep.
Game day. I meant game day. Will be Notre Dame.
Home Depot game day. Yep.
Yeah, Notre Dame is at Ohio State at the shoe, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Notre Dame versus Ohio State. Real quick, I saw a quick comment before we jump into that. Somebody asked about Lee Corso, and do I have an opinion about what happened? Yes, I do. One thing about jobs and one thing about people getting older, they don't want to give it up. Things about people getting older, they don't realize that they are getting older. In their mind, they still feel like right now, I still feel like I'm 22 years old. I do. Even though I'm older, I feel like I'm 22. When I get 70, I'm going to feel like I can still do what I was doing when I was 50. Lee Corso doesn't see that. Unfortunately, the people around him, especially when you're in a job where speaking matters, and he's slurring speeches now, he's doing these things, that right there is so unfortunate. And the biggest thing is when I saw him, they had him out there Don by himself. Y'all excuse this craziness on him, I'm gonna block it. Y'all, they had him out there by himself. You didn't even have anybody to play off of him to kind of take over the reins when he was falling off the horse, if that makes sense.
I didn't watch it, but I heard it was bad. I know he wants to do it. I know it's like game day is a national treasure with Lee Corso there, but if you love him like you say you do, you got to do what's best for him if he can't do it for himself.
Well, here's what you do. Do like we did during COVID. Bring him in just for the pick where he can put the helmets on. He makes that call. He's still a part of it. Hey, guys, I'm picking Buckeyes. And he put the Buckeye helmet on. Even if he's still well enough to travel, he can do that and come on, and that's his segment. He can't handle the whole show anymore. People ask what happened. He's starting to lose his speech. He's starting to lose his train of thought when he speaks. His mind may be saying it, but it's not registering in his slurred speech. I don't think he had a stroke or anything, but he's trying to gather his words, and he's just not getting it. I mean, I don't know how old he is, but he's just missing the points now.
In the 70s, yeah.
Yeah, and again, right? He's and there's nobody to play off of him. So my thing is, let's give him a segment. Hey, Coach, Corso's corner, pick him or whatever, and he come in and he picked the helmet and he's done for the day. He deserves that. But to sit there and talk about offenses and defenses and who's going to be the dynamic player is too much. I think it's too much. But anyway, let's push on. Ohio State, Notre Dame. Notre Dame comes in with a brand new coach, Marcus Freeman. But the brand new head coach was DC last year. The players wanted him. Everybody loves him. He's making commercials and memes and stuff now and TikTok videos. I told him, you better put that junk down to get in that playbook, because if you get your head knocked off, Coach Freeman.
Gonna be like Juju and Chase Claypool.
The memes gonna come back to bite you, boy. I'm trying to tell you. It might be cool for recruiting, but he got whole little mini movies. But talk to us before you get to your beloved Ohio State. Talk to us about Notre Dame, man.
You want to know a fun fact about Notre Dame? Guess who's their defensive coordinator?
Al Golden, maybe?
Yes. So I'm really excited about this game. But it's just a fill-in. That's Marcus Freeman's defense. He runs a 3-3-5 stack and kind of an odd 3-4. Tries to mix looks, mix coverages, and everything like that. Notre Dame, their strength is the line of scrimmage. Their starting center, Jared Patterson, projected first-round pick, is still questionable for that game. Hayes is getting roasted. But, he's questionable for that game. He may not play. We'll see. That's a huge loss if he isn't. But they got Harry Highstand, who Longtime Notre Dame coached some of the best offensive linemen in history. Just came back from coaching in the NFL. He's back, and this offensive line is looking to prove something because they didn't have the year they wanted to. Defensively, they have a very good defensive line. Isaiah Fawcett. If I mispronounce his name, I apologize. He's a potential first-round pick. And so there's talent. Brandon Joseph is the big name. The transfer from Northwestern, he was an All-American. He was an All-American safety. And so I think the line of scrimmage is the strength. Looking at the offense. And coaches, you got Al Golden, you have former Ohio State legend and, played in NFL for a long time. James Laurinaitis is on the Notre Dame staff helping out with the linebackers, former Ohio State linebacker coach. Al Washington is coaching up the defensive line. Moving on to the offense, that's where things get
Hold on. Al Washington coaching D-line now?
Yeah.
So he left linebackers. He's at Notre Dame coaching D-line.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Okay. Great. Breaking news to me.
Yeah. So offensively, that's where it gets funny. Because I think Notre Dame is going to do what Michigan did and do what Utah did. And they're going to try to run the ball to test that Ohio State defense because you got the strength at your offensive line, but you are low on receivers. They've got, I think, 3 receivers. I mean, Hayes, you're getting roasted, man.
Man, don't worry about this. Is my son, man. He got a picture of me up there looking all crazy. But anyway, I got to talk to you, son, because you on that wacky tobacco. Don't think I ain't see your comments in the other show.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, go ahead.
2 pieces of the biscuit, but yeah, it's you got receivers down. I think they have Avery Davis, if I believe that's his name. Unfortunately, I feel bad for the kid. Tore his ACL last year, came back, tore it again. And they have some receivers gone. But the 2 guys that to watch out for on offense, Lorenzo Styles Jr., his dad, Ohio State legend, played in the NFL a long time. His son actually plays for Ohio State, 6'4", 225 safety at the 17-year-old. And he's a dynamic playmaker. And then Michael Mayer, he will probably be the number 1 tight end taken because that dude is dynamic and has been balling for a long time. They're thin at running back. They only have 3 scholarship running backs. Chris Tyree is the speedster. He's the home run guy. And then they have a power back. The quarterback is where it gets interesting. Tyler Buchner.
Buchner. I have him on my fantasy draft.
Okay, well, I wouldn't play him this week.
No, he's only for week 7.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. He can move. He's athletic. He can run. But it's going to be that's the thing. What are you going to do with him? Because you have limited options at receiver. Everybody's going to be keyed in on Styles and Michael Mayer. And so somebody else has to step up. And I don't think it's that somebody else can't. It's just you don't have a lot of bodies, So I think they're going to run the ball. I think he's going to run. You're going to see some design QB runs. Tommy Reese is the offensive coordinator. And he's proven to, start to take the reins and really, really, do a good job as a rising star. So Notre Dame presents, I think they're going to try to play bully ball. I think, everybody saw how Michigan and a lot of teams last year, Oregon and some of these squads handled Ohio State up front. And so they are saying, okay, if we're going to do it again, you got to rise up to the challenge. Because right now that's their best formula of winning. And look, I don't think it's going to be this 63-7 game. Because Notre Dame's defense, I don't think Ohio State's offense is going to score every possession. Because I just have credit to Notre Dame's defense. They have good corners. Obviously, one of, if not the best safety in the country, arguably. Really deep defensive line, that can get a pass rush and physical. The linebackers, I will say, may provide weakness. They do have one of the kids, I think his name was Jalen Walker, freaky athletic kid at linebacker, but he's not in the starting rotation. So they present a challenge from the standpoint of toughness and physicality. And that's going to be something that Ohio State's going to have to match.
Well, you said it all, brother. I just want to be honest with you, which is perfect. I mean, that was a great breakdown, man, because you took it from both sides of it. Because I look at it, I know some people were kind of up in arms about the Tyler Buckner. I thought he played. I think Coach Freeman has done well on the recruiting trail. He's got some. I think he got a receiver named Great House. I did a breakdown on him, man. That dude can play, and he's out of Texas, if I'm not mistaken. And Notre Dame has picked up quite a few guys out of Texas, man. Which is, I don't know if that's normal for them or not, but you know, with Texas kind of doing what they're doing with Coach Sarkisian, Texas A&M coming up. You know, Oklahoma always fought in that Texas area. For Notre Dame to come out of Indiana and to slide into Texas, man, I think that was pretty cool. Just want to give a quick shout out before I move on. Taste One Boy Peanuts. That's our man. That's our man, Lance. Lance, go holler at him. I hope I'm getting it right. Taste One Boy Peanuts with an S.com. Go check them out. Order you some. I don't care if you're a Miami Hurricane fan or not. Good is good. You understand me?
Sir.
So if good is good, go get you some, man. All right. If not, just Google it or go find them on Twitter. If I got the thing wrong, man. There you go. Matter of fact, put it in the chat, the website in the chat so I don't mess it up. So put that in the chat. I think it's Taste One Boy Peanuts with an S.com. So he gonna put it in there anyway, just to make sure. Divine, I appreciate it. Coach Hayes, Lord have mercy. Goat Hayes. All right. Pops McGee, I can tell you must be a Notre Dame fan because you've been doing a lot of Notre Dame talking, which is pretty cool, man. So I appreciate you stopping by. But he says we're going to do a lot of split out with our running backs, mainly Chris Tyree. So I don't know if he's been in the practice or in the coaching room, but he know a lot about it. So we're going to find out.
Chris Tyree's one of the fastest kids in the nation. They're going to try to find a way to get him the ball in space. That's just what it is. So yeah, I do understand that.
All right. So now let's flip it to Ohio State.
This is
Ohio State. I'm gonna walk through this part. Ohio State. CJ. No, I want to set it up. I'm gonna throw you this softball so you can knock it through the park because I know you gonna let this ride. CJ Stroud comes back, dynamic quarterback. I think he's smooth. He's cool. He looks to throw the ball, not looking to run. You got Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's back, who I had on my fantasy last year. I knew he was a dog then. Ain't nobody know because y'all had Olave and Wilson and them guys, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But anyhow, so long story short, you had with Jackson Smith and Jigba, which I broke his film down from high school. Go check him out. You got Marvin Harrison. And again, I'm just bringing up some big-time names. Emeka Egbuka. I'm not sure the other. I did Emeka Egbuka and Marvin Harrison's film. I'm not sure the other receivers.
Julian Fleming.
G. Scott has been. I thought he was going to be a big time player. He's kind of moved to that H-back tight
end. Not yet.
So he's still at the receiver position.
He's a tight end, full tight end. It's just a matter of teaching him blocking and making sure his weight is, up to par. But he will play some this year.
Okay.
So he will see the field. Cade Stover is tight end one because he's 6'5", 265. Yeah, he's the real deal.
All right. And then let's run it to the back. I'm just naming some names off, and then I'm going to let you run down all of the attributes. And then in the backfield, of course, you have Travion Henderson, who in high school, man, I was like, holy smokes, this dude. I think I even said in the video, man, this dude so far, he got smoke coming off his cleats because he's from Virginia. Travion Henderson. Your boy is gone, Master T. He's gone, right?
He's been gone. Well, was he there last year?
No, he left last year.
Yeah, he left last year.
Did he transfer or he's done?
He graduated. He's done. He unfortunately was on the Steelers and was doing well, got hurt, and they cut him. So you know how that goes.
Okay, I got you. And then you had Evan Pryor, who had a season-ending injury already. I want to say it was an ACL. or whatever the case may be. I thought Evan Pryor was going to definitely be the 1-2 punch. I can't remember the other guy's name. And so offensively only, I want you to Mayan Williams, yes. I only want you to take it from there from offense, and then I'll do the same. I give you the softball for defense.
First of all, I got to say this. This is how big this night's going to be. Not even jabbing, because they're honoring the 2002 national championship team. They're going to have like 50-something recruits there. And guess who one of the big recruits that's supposed to be in attendance?
Oh, little Timmy?
Maybe. But Bronny James with his dad, LeBron James.
He ain't gonna play no football, is he?
Basketball.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And so now Bron gonna be there. Let me see if I can go to Columbus. So it's gonna be a really, really big weekend, recruiting weekend. Offensively, I think it's gonna be a little bit different of an offense than last year. Last year was very pass heavy, and there will still be a lot of passing concepts. And I think there's going to be new passing concepts because Ryan Day that offensive innovation and all this stuff, he does a great job of fitting his personnel. So Evan Pryor was actually running back 3 this year, and it was like that in training camp because Mayan Williams is a big-time running back. They called him Meatball when he first got in there. He lost a little weight, then they called him Pork Chop, and now he's just out there balling. CJ Stroud, like you said, is not a runner, but he has really committed himself to the weight room. And from what I understand, granted, it's not hidden. You saw him run a little bit in the Rose Bowl. And so I think you will see him, rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. But at the end of the season, Dwayne Haskins ran a little bit, especially against man coverage. And he will get 6 to 11 yards, get down the slide. And so if he runs, that opens, obviously, they do a great job with the RPO, but that opens things up more. So I think you'll see him run a little bit more. Running backs, receivers, and here's the thing. You already know what you're getting with the receivers. Marvin Harrison, the great Marvin Harrison Sr.'s son, let me tell you something. They call him Route Man Marv because that dude is 6'3", like 210, 215, and is a smooth operator, man. Emeka Ibuka, they're not talking about him. Jalen Ballard,
You said they're not talking about Emeka Ibuka?
Because they're talking about Jackson Smith-Njigba and Marvin Harrison. And so you got Julian Fleming, and Ohio State fans know about Emeka Ibuka. And so listen.
That quarterback better know about Emeka. He on my fantasy.
Who, CJ?
Emeka Ibuka. He better get some points.
Listen, again, Ohio State knows about Emeka Ibuka, but the national audience, the national media is not talking about Emeka. So, and you pissed me off because you picked before me and you took him when I had lined it up to take him. So I hope, here's what I hope. The moment you put him on the bench, I hope he snaps. I hope he snaps, crackle, and pop. That's what I'm going to be praying. The biggest thing about Ohio State, the offensive line. Paris Johnson is a potential, he's listed as a first-round tackle. He has all the measurables. You did his film. DeJuan Jones, we call him Big Thanos. He's 6'9", and he's actually lost weight, so he's like 360 now. Very good basketball player, had offers. Donovan Jackson, you did his film. The interior offensive line struggled to run the ball in key situations last year. And that is something that they addressed, and if you listen to the press conferences at Ohio State, the interviews, they would tell you, we did a good job running the ball, but when it counted, no, we could not do it.
Right.
And that's where this matchup with Notre Dame gets interesting because Notre Dame's interior defensive line is a good physical matchup. And so Ohio State has the talent, and they brought in a new offensive line coach, Justin Fry, and he came up and he said it best. We need to be able to run the ball when they know we have to run the ball. And at this
Right.
point, it's an attitude. It's an attitude. You know what's coming. It's 4th and 1. How bad do you want it? Who wants it more? And so Justin Fry came over from Chip Kelly's scheme, very good offensive line coach, and he's brought some additional running schemes with Tony Alford and Ryan Day. So I think CJ's going to do his thing. That's just the way it is. And Ryan Day, Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to be lined up all over the field. And so the thing about Notre Dame is really Ryan Day can scheme up just like any good offensive play caller, just like any good defensive play caller. You will find the weakest link, and bam, you'll go after it. They did it last year with Smith and Jigba, and they'll do it again this year. So offensively, for me, the biggest thing, offensive line. Offensive line has to bring that energy, that toughness. Cade Stover is a farm boy, and he is that tough physical enforcer that looks to kill people. So that's okay, hurt people. So that's the offensive side of the ball.
All right, real quick, man. Shout out to Miami Flow in the building. Says Coach was good. Hit that like button, man. Y'all hit the like button, man. Y'all go check out Miami Flow. Got great content on the Miami Flow, the Team Miami Flow channel, man. They got, I think they drop something every day, man. So go check those guys out. They got different segments, right, with different hosts. So it's pretty cool, man. You get a mix of variety of different people's opinion all on one station, man. So go check those guys out. Let's jump into this, man, because we're already at 9 o'clock. We did an hour. Defensively, you could talk about the overall philosophy, but there are a couple of guys I want to point out, and you tell me this. One was a transfer in Seven Banks. He's out of Orlando, coached against him when he was at Orlando Jones. Transfers and goes to LSU. Am I correct?
Yep.
Huh?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So he transfers and goes. Yeah, transfers and goes to LSU. And so he's no longer there. And he was a starter. Now, why he transferred, I don't know. You could touch on it if you like. Denzel Burke, man, came in as a true freshman, if I'm not mistaken, and played some significant time. But there's some guys that I was looking for. But again, this is part of showing your depth. And I thought they would have more. They would be higher on the depth chart if you ask me. And they may be in rotation. But anyway, JTT was the big-time defensive tackle out of the state of Washington, if I'm not mistaken. He this dude kind of held out almost to like the second signing day. You know what I mean? Oh, no, the summer. He didn't sign until the summer.
4th
yeah,
of July.
He didn't sign until the summer. And I got accosted in Columbus Airport by the young lady. Says, hey, Coach, I know you do those tapes. Why you ain't did the JTT tape? And I was like, look, young lady, you need to chill out because I don't have to do it. She said, you better do it or you better get up out of Columbus. That was my impersonation of Kevin Hart. But anyhow, that I did his film, man. I think he's going to be a big-time player for you guys. But there are guys like Jack Sawyer, who I remember seeing his high school tape saying, holy moly, bro. Like, this dude can play. There are guys like, I'm trying to find their name here. Reed Carrico. Right? Reed Carrico is a third-string wheel right now. And he's just a redshirt freshman. CJ Hicks was a big-time name. All right. And he's a freshman. He's number 2 right now at the wheel backer. I'm trying to see who was the other. Jordan Hancock. That was the video I tried the Ohio State fans with to get 3,000 views, and they did it, man. And the grad transfer, Tanner McAllister. Where does he come from?
Oklahoma State. Came with his coach.
Okay. All right. So quickly, man, round it up, and then we'll do some pick'ems here, man, to get about this joint.
I'm going to have a hot take for you.
Oh, whoa. I'm sorry. Michael Hall, was he an offensive lineman or he was a defensive lineman? He's always a defensive lineman? Yeah. Okay. I did his film too, but go ahead. All right. Go ahead, man. Round this deal out.
Hot take for you. Hot take. Jordan Hancock will be an All-American of some sort at the end of the season. From now, he's coming back from an injury because he was balling in the summer and everything. But every report I've heard and the videos I've seen to match it, Hayes, that's the dude that you covered in high school. And it just clicked. Defensively, it's a new scheme. Knows the 3 things he wants: disguise, toughness, and for them to play fast. And it's an aggressive scheme. and you got to be on your P's and Q's. So the defensive line, they're going to play about between 8 to 10 people. And they finally got a role called the, no pun intended, the Jack role for Jack Sawyer. It's that hybrid role on the defensive line, that linebacker hybrid. Some people call it the star or whatever.
Out of the 30 front, though. Yeah, but it's out of a 30 front. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's his position. And so the defensive line, they've kind of switched to a more, they call it, I think it's block destruction, that kind of a concept where you're being more physical. This is what I read, where you're being more physical at the point of attack instead of trying to get penetration and stuff. That's neither here nor there. To me, you play on the line of scrimmage, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. You know what I'm saying? So that is what and here's the thing, that didn't come from anybody from Ohio State. That just came from like some football expert on Twitter who breaks down film and all that stuff. So linebackers, they're only playing 2 linebackers, Still Chambers, Tommy Eichenberg, very cerebral linebackers. And then the fun part will be Denzel Burke, Cam Brown on the outside. Denzel Burke, I think he'll be an All-American. And Cam Brown, when he's healthy, he's one of the best corners in the country. You got 3 safeties. Tanner McAllister is that slot guy, that slot nickel guy that does a little bit of everything. Ronnie Hickman and Josh Proctor. Josh Proctor, Ohio State fans know about Malik Hooker because he's just an athletic freak who can hit. Y'all go and look at his hit against Jack Cohen, Notre Dame's quarterback last year, but Proctor's hit against Wisconsin. And then I forgot the last safety, but there's going to be, those are the 3 safeties on the field, but they're going to rotate safeties. They're going to have Lathan Ransom, who's a big hitter. You're going to have, Court Williams. Now, Court Williams is an interesting one. He came from St. John Bosco. He's about 6'2", about 220. He has coverage skills, but when they play those bigger teams, the Wisconsin or even to, Notre Dame, you don't have to bring an additional linebacker on the field. He's that guy that's big enough he hits like a linebacker, but he has coverage skills. And so he's kind of that wild card when he's on the field. So everybody's talking about the defense, and from the videos I've seen, they're playing fast, they're playing aggressive. Ryan Day said it's been the most violent. They've been playing violent, and he really, really made it a point of emphasis to, they don't have 2-a-days anymore. So he tried to pretty much make it as tough as possible. Said they were pretty much in pads the whole time, full pads, hidden and stuff like that. So they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder. Here's the thing: don't expect them to be shut down. To shut down everything, I think is crazy. That people think the score is going to be 56-0, but that's what you can expect from the defense. But let me quickly, got this quote. Got this quote from Notre Dame defensive tackle Jason Ademilola. Full quote. We're on the same page. We're all communicating. We understand we all play different positions, but our jobs are just as important. We all need to be on the same page. Communication has been higher. We all know our strengths. We're going to play to our strengths. We feel like we're the toughest, strongest, badass mother effers in the country, and that's going to be our strength. We are going to use that as our strength. So that goes to my point. They got a physical defensive line. Ohio State has to keep.
We're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out.
All right, let's get into this pick'em. Games kick off week 1 here on Thursday. There's really a couple, but not really major matchups. You got maybe the biggest matchup there would be Pitt versus or West Virginia versus Pitt. If you want to just pick that quickly, we can just pick one, and we're keeping track. So Dom, make sure you write this down because I know you like notes, man. I kept papers, but they'd be all over the place. So let me know this, and I'll put a little graphic up here with our score throughout the season, man. So real quick, we're gonna pick the top 3 games. I'm just picking one. What are our top 3 we're picking and then we just kind of pick round.
So we got Pitt. Let me get my other thing up. We got Pitt, West Virginia.
Is that these are the top 3 you picked to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, Ohio State and Notre Dame.
Okay.
And then Oregon versus Georgia.
All right, I'll take that. That's a good call.
And if there was a wild card, I would say, and this could be interchangeable, Utah and Florida.
Yeah, back in the day, you were like, "Oh, that's easy. That's easy." Florida, right? But Utah, we gotta see. All right, so do you want to throw a wild card, like a joker card, that you could take one out in case you blew it?
Yeah,
is that what we're gonna do?
We'll have that each week.
All right, we'll do a wild card. The wild card game would be the Florida versus Utah. Okay. All right, Dom, you make the pick, and here we go. Still Kane. I was just talking about you, Still Kane. What's up with you, man? This dude is in the building, man. He's in the fantasy draft as well. What's up with you, Still Kane? All right. Wholesome one in the building. I put his thing up there, but I missed it. Wholesome one. What's up with you, baby? I saw the invite, man, but I was taking care of a bunch of stuff. I was out the house, so I couldn't jump on, but I was watching, man. Good show with you and Coach Coop. I watched a lot of it till about maybe the last 5 minutes for you guys got off. So great show, man. All right, let's go. Let's knock this deal out, man. Pitt versus West Virginia. Who you have?
I got Pitt winning 28-24.
Oh, you going with numbers. I thought we were just picking them. Y'all calling the score too?
Okay.
Hey, calling. Yeah, I'm just doing a pick.
No. We'll do pick them, so I got Pitt winning that game.
All right, Dom got Pitt. Coach Hayes, just because I suck, I'm going with West Virginia with the gold and blue dude. Let's do it. All right, let's go.
Fair. All right. Let's do – this is a tough one.
You writing this down, right?
Yeah. UGA, Oregon.
UGA, Oregon. Okay, I'm going UGA.
I'm going UGA. But that's going to be I think that's going to be a closer game than people think. All right. Utah, Florida.
You missing the Notre Dame? Oh, you want that to be the last one? So the wild card game is Utah, Florida. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Utah, Florida. I gotta go
going
Florida.
Utah.
All right. Utah. I gotta go Florida. I gotta go Florida, bro.
I want to go Florida so bad, but
I do too. I think Utah gonna smoke these cats, man.
My score was 48-27. Because I just don't know about Florida. Like I don't know. They have talent and it seems to be turning around and getting recruits, but I gotta say, listen, man. Florida,
the fans with you, bro. Look, they with you.
Florida had one of the best running back rooms in the nation, and their quarterback still led the team in rushing.
That's true.
And in rushing attempts, their running back Damon Pierce, who did not get the ball as much as he should, he just got named the starting running back for the Houston Texans.
That's true.
And they didn't give him the ball.
It's a different regime, so you got to give that some figure. You got to count that in. But Utah has been there, and they've proven themselves. So I totally get it. All right, last one.
And they got a lot coming back, too. Yep. So last one, of course, I got the Buckeyes over Notre Dame.
Hey, Brother Jay Blaze, I feel you on that. Just off the strength. We say off the strength with an F. Off the strength, I can't stand it, but I got it. Okay, I'm going Florida. And you saying I'm going I got to go Buckeyes with this one too. I just think they got too much going on right now. I don't know how close or how wide the score is going to be, but I do see Ohio State. But I do just want to see a good game. All right, man. So let's go ahead and wrap this deal up, man. I got a lot to do and a little bit of time to do it. Hey, Janelle in the building says, sorry, y'all. I've been celebrating since yesterday. It's your birthday, if I'm not mistaken.
Happy birthday. It today?
I think it's today. Also, guess what? She got a blue wrench. She the first lady through the smoke. She the first lady first person with a blue wrench Come on, man. She got a blue wrench on the channel, man. I needed you because I've been getting them crazy what you call this, Haitian Ella? I've been getting them crazy comments on the thing. Yesterday was your birthday. Happy birthday. Happy 21st birthday to you, Haitian Ella.
Happy birthday.
We'll be down there. Matter of fact, I'll get Coach Mike Norvell and Coach Lannon to sing you happy birthday. See if they'll buy you a cake. See if they'll buy you a cake and sing happy birthday to you. Since they're not recruiting you, they only sing birthdays to people that don't even have them in their top 5. But anyway, that was a joke to do. I'm here all week. Anyway, real quick, I do want to say this. I posted this the other day. Guys, I'm doing a Po Lil Timmy segment. So guys have been sending to my DMs on Twitter and Facebook. That's Coach Hayes FB on Twitter, Coach Hayes Football on Instagram. Send me a Po Lil Timmy clip of this week. I'm going to try and post it here at the end, all right, of week 1, the top 10 Po Lil Timmy moments. Brother Jay Blaze, I got yours, but it was a whole YouTube clip. So I can't take YouTube clips because they'll ban me, all right? So you got to send them to me. If they come off of your Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram or whatever, just send them to me. And then we'll compile them together. Even though they may be on YouTube, but compile them together. But hey, man, Brother Jay Blaze sent me a whole 7-minute video of just Po Lil Timmy people getting smashed. I'm like, I can't go through all that. You got to send me one particular clip, man.
Po Lil Timmy marathon.
Yeah, I don't care if it's NFL, high school, or whatever, man. But other than that, Jay Blaze, I'm just looking at him. Other than that, Dom, let people know where they can find you, man. I know you do your lactic acid podcast and everything else.
Lactic acid _pod. You can find that particular one is on Twitter. Obviously, YouTube. Be sure to follow and support Lactic Acid with Dom Smith. We're doing a episode Friday ahead of the game I have a little segment called A Bucket of Fried Chicken and Track Talk. You do not want to miss that. And then anywhere you get your podcast, Apple, Google Play. And then, we got merchandise. So you need to do 2 things. Support 2 channels. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Go get your Po Lil Timmy gear. And then the next show, I'm going to put it on there. Lactic Acid. Go to FanHub TF. You can find my name on the shop or the author section, Dominic Smith. I got everything you need. Shirts, got the tumblers, all that stuff. So be sure to pick you up some. All proceeds go back to helping the channel grow. So I do appreciate that you guys did that.
I love it, man. Like I said, with all that being said, I'm done here. Guys, I've been trying to work on these WREs. We're going to get them back going, but I had to we got to take care of some other stuff, man. But I will be at the game Saturday. We'll be going live Saturday from the tailgating. So if you're out there, come holler at us, man. Come get on camera. I'm taking pictures with y'all. Don't take pictures with me. I'm taking pictures with y'all. So if you come up, don't be scared. Be like, Coach, hey, what's up? Come on, let's make it happen. And we're going live immediately right after the game.
Give me a score.
Bethune-Cookman, Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna do it. I almost said something. I ain't gonna do it.
You want Bernie Mac? I ain't gonna do a MF thing. Is that what you was gonna say?
No, I almost said do it for the vine. I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the vine. I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the.
Oh wow.
You don't know about that. That's old school right now.
Listen, I wish I was at that game. I wish I was at that game to see the second best band in the world play, the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Hey, gotta have mad love for the Rattlers, even though it's a war going on between the football team and the school. Whoa, boy. I think we should.
Hey, Smooth. I saw your boy Peanut. A little birdie told me somebody was talking about old Coach. And I finally seen Peanut face. Smooth. You was on there too, Smooth. I told you I'm everywhere and nowhere at the same time. I'm like oxygen, dog. Huh?
Man.
Huh? Smooth. We got to talk, Smooth. Tisk. You were being bad, Smooth. But anyway, I'm just messing with you, man. But yeah, man, I'm staying away from all expectations. Once they play, I'll give one next week, the following week. I want them to feel free. I don't want to hold them hostage. I don't want to Jim Harbaugh them and hold them hostage and put pressure.
That's fair. Be out by week 3. So we got you. Hayes, it's been real, brother.
It's been fun, man. As always, check us out here. This is the format right now during the season. We're going to just do recaps of the week before. We're going to talk about predictions the week for the following week. And, man, we are growing, believe it or not. We had almost 140-some people in the chat at one time. When we first started this off, we had 8-9 people. So it is growing, man. So continue pushing it out. As you know, we talk about everything here on the Coach Me Coach podcast pertaining to football. So it is what it is. And a big shout out to Miami Central knocking off IMG in the house. I don't care if he fumbled it 2 yards early. Guess what? It was a holding call somewhere against IMG. They ain't called. That gave him a first down. So guess what? I guess we even, and Miami Central leaving with a W, if you understands what I'm saying. Reggie with $2. Bethune-Cookman up by 3 at halftime. Reggie, see, doggone, I tried to get out of here. Reggie, put your chin out there. Get out of here, man. Appreciate
Hot
that $2.
take, Hayes. Hot take. Miami Central would have beat IMG even if the ball had, even if they overturned that, Miami Central would have won that game.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll take it.
So, FY Notre Dame.
Oh, this is my man right here. Is this my man? Indeed, he be on the Twitter all the time. Michael Campbell. Give me a thumbs up real quick. Hey, this dude is a Dallas, Indy, Dallas, I believe.
Hey.
I believe this is Indy, Dallas.
Let me tell you something, dude. You need to quit. I saw your post when our dude Evan Pryor got hurt. I appreciate that. Talking that noise about him. Hey, no. Yeah. That Notre Dame fan. No, the one that you just pulled up. Yeah, don't think I saw it. Michael Campbell. Yeah, when Evan Pryor got hurt, I saw what you tweeted out. God ain't pleased with that, man. So that's all I'm gonna say. I saw God it. You know what you did.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Right. I love it, man. Well, we're going to get out of here because we got the crazies on the comment section now, the doggone, the funny people. So with all that being said, thank you all. Peace, love, and hair grease. Coach will catch you at the 50-yard line. We out of here, man. Look at that. She done put your Twitter thing in. I love it. Get it, Haitian.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you, fam.
All right, man. We out this joint. Peace. Coach don't know how to cut this thing off. All right, here I go. I'm out.